Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sunday live stream. I'm looking forward to seeing you all here today. And I see K9 Lover, you're already here. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining early. And while we wait for everyone else, I'll just go over the basics, which I know you've heard before, but this live stream is always in 3 parts. The first 10 minutes, I'll cover our latest properties. The second 10 minutes, I will go over our latest blog posts. And then the final 10 minutes, we'll do a vacation giveaway. And if anyone is watching who is new, also throughout the live stream, when I take a break or pause, I'll check the chat screen to see if there are any questions or an interesting conversation going on, or just to say hi and participate in all of that. So feel free to ask questions throughout. But if anyone's new here and you're not familiar with who I am, my name's Erica. I have a company, Gokche Capital. I buy and sell vacant land. My website's gokchecapital.com. If you're interested in selling or buying land, you can go here to sell land. You just click Get My Cash Offer on our homepage, and then click Buy Land if you want to see our available properties. We do have a map. This is interactive, so you can zoom in and out, where you can see all of our available properties, and all the pins are the available lots. When you click on a pin, you'll get a little pop-up, and that'll take you to the property's main listing page. Now, I'll also say for anyone who's not interested in buying or selling land right now, we do also have a lot of resources. Most of them are free. When I started this company, I found that there wasn't that much information to help with buying vacant land in particular, since it tends to be a somewhat complicated asset. So I wanted to put together a library of the kind of information that I would have liked to have had when I started out. So to that end, I do a couple blog posts a week. We now have, I think, over 400 blog posts. So if there's a particular topic you're interested in, we probably have done a blog post on it already, and you can simply search up here for the topic to see if it pulls up. All of these blog posts are at least or around 2,000 words, so we try to go in depth on the topic, and it covers a wide range of topics. Anything that we came across in our own research that we thought was relevant, or if we heard through this live stream or through a comment on a YouTube video of someone saying, I'd like to learn a little more about this topic, we generally cover those as well. So a wide range of topics. You may want to browse through it. And then we also have this YouTube channel. I post a lot of videos on the YouTube channel about the properties that we've listed, but I will occasionally post informational videos, which are more condensed versions of the blog posts. They're all a few minutes. Some are a little bit longer, 7 or 8 minutes, but they're all under 10 minutes, and they cover informational topics as well. So you can browse through our YouTube channel for more free content if you're interested in learning more about all topics related to land, whether you're a seller, buyer, or a landowner, or you just are interested in land and real estate in the United States. And then we do have a few paid resources as well if you're interested in that. We have a few courses, one on land due diligence, one on land investing, and then one that covers 31 tips for marketing properties online. And last, I have a book, Land Investing Mistakes. It covers 11 true stories, stories of mistakes I made, but the bulk of it is actually a big due diligence checklist. So if you're going to buy land and you need to go through the due diligence process, that book could be helpful as well. All right, so with that, all that said, let's get started. I'll keep an eye on the chat throughout this just to see if anyone's joined or they have any questions, but I'll get started first with our latest properties. So I did post 2 properties this past week. One is in Modoc County. I've been selling a number of properties here, so I've highlighted some other properties in this area before, but Modoc County is in Northern California. You can see it's up here, not too far from the border with Nevada and Oregon. And this is a very forested county. I think something like 60% of it is public land. Most of that is the Modoc National Forest. You can see it labeled here, but it covers basically this whole area around the property. And the one main town in the county is Alturas, which is the county seat. It's still a relatively small town, but it's about 25 minutes to this property. Now the property is in California Pines, which is a property owners association. So the association manages the roads and then all the public areas within this large subdivision. I say subdivision, but it's very rural. And this particular property is in the pine forests in the hilly part of California Pines. So it is, and there are a couple fishing ponds within the pine forest as well. So you can see from satellite images, it's pretty rural, dominated by forest, and the property does have access via a road. It actually looks like there's a home right nearby this particular property, but you can see it is wooded still. Now, all properties in this area are zoned residential high density, which allow for single family homes and mobile homes, but not long-term RV use. I do always recommend that you contact the Property Owners Association for rules and regulations regarding building. Electricity is supplied in California Pines by Surprise Valley Electric. You should contact them to see if power poles need to be extended to the lot or not. And water and sewer would be well and septic. On our main listing page, I'll also note we have a drone video. This is not of the property itself, but it does give you a good sense of what California Pines looks like, the area looks like, so you can see the pine forest. I'm not going to play it now because you'll hear the music when I play it, but you can check that out if you go to our main listing page. And right now we have this priced at what I think is a pretty reasonable price. The cash discount price is $1,999 plus the $395 document fee. It's with all of our properties. We do also offer an owner financing option. This is $1 down only, $1 down plus the $299 document fee. And then it's $199 per month for 15 months. There's 0% APR, so there's no interest, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. And there's also no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan early. You still pay the full owner financing price, but there's no penalty to do that. And there's also no credit check. There's actually no application process on any of our properties. If you want to buy with owner financing or with cash, you simply go to the main listing page and click buy or hold, and that starts an automated checkout process. So you'll pay, and then it'll generate all the documents. It's pretty easy. Again, no application. And we did post a second property this week in Tennessee. We've been posting a number of properties in Tennessee recently. Georgia and Tennessee have been our two main states right now. We'll probably branch out soon, but for now we've been looking at Georgia and Tennessee. So this property is in Claiborne County, which is in eastern Tennessee, northeast Tennessee, not too far from Knoxville. It's just under 5 acres. And now this property is in the small town of New Tazewell. New Tazewell, it's a small town, but it does have a number of amenities, including a Walmart and a grocery store, and there's a medical center here as well. So you have all the basic amenities. And this property is on a residential street. You can see here, it's the undeveloped lot, and there are a number of homes here. And as with our other property, we have a drone video at the bottom of our main listing page. This one is actually of the property. I'm not going to play it again because there's music and you'll hear it if I play it. But this is a drone video of the actual property, so you can see what it looks like. And we do also have photos of the property. Right now it's wooded, as you can see, so it would need to be cleared. There is no zoning in Claiborne County. You would need a building permit from the town of New Tazewell or Tazewell, so you would likely want to contact them to go over their rules and regulations. And right now we have priced this property at a cash discount price of $12,999. Hi DK Me, thank you for joining. I'm glad you caught this as well. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. But again, as with all of our properties, we do offer both a cash discount price and an owner financing option. As before, it's only $1 down with owner financing plus the $299 document fee, and in this case, it's then $299 per month for 65 months. Again, 0% APR, so no interest, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. And again, no prepayment penalty and no credit check. So, as with all of our properties, if you want to buy, simply go to our main listing page and click Buy or Hold. So that's it on the latest properties. You can also check out our other properties by going to our listing page. You can look through the map if there's a particular area that you're interested in. And of course, as I do every week, I also posted a couple blog posts. So I'll cover what I was researching this week, see if there are any topics that may be of interest to you. So I do a number of blog posts on soil health, soil amendments, things related to farming and growing crops and maintaining overall soil health, because I know a lot of you are interested in, if not exactly full-scale commercial farming, off-grid living, and being self-sufficient. And so even if you're just growing food for yourself, you do need to be very protective of your soil's health and make sure that it's providing all the nutrients your plants need. So this is one of those blog posts on a specific amendment that you can use to help improve your soil's health. And if anyone's done gardening before, you know that soil amendments can be a big part of gardening. There are a lot of them out there because there are a lot of different soil types and a lot of different issues that soil encounters. So there are different amendments for each soil and each problem. But peat moss, in short, peat moss is harvested from peat bogs. It's basically decomposed organic matter, but it comes in sort of a fibrous material, and it's almost like a sponge. And though it's called peat moss, it's not really a moss. It's not living. It's decayed organic matter, so it's dead. But peat moss is it's used primarily to help with drainage. So it's very lightweight and kind of porous, like I said, like a sponge. So that's great for improving soil drainage and for helping to prevent compaction. So if you are planting new plants or you otherwise really need your soil to have its drainage improved, peat moss is often what is used. And another great thing about it is even though it's very porous, it's good for drainage, it does also retain water. So again, if you're growing new plants, that can be a good medium for them, especially plants that can't take a heavy soil. They're also good for dry climates where you need a lighter weight soil, but you also need to be able to hold as much water as possible and get as much out of whatever moisture you put in the ground as possible. And another great thing about peat moss is it's sterile. So again, if you're growing new plants and they're particularly vulnerable to diseases and pests, peat moss can be used to help keep diseases and pests down. So those are some of the reasons why you would use peat moss. There are some disadvantages though. So peat moss doesn't add nutrients to soil. Oh really, the sound is low. That's odd. Is anyone else having an issue with the soil? But for is anyone else having an issue with the sound? And GBA 86, what would be the best for a homestead situation? So I can't really make a recommendation if you're talking about soil amendments for homesteads in general because it's very soil specific. So you need to you need to do a test. If you're going to do a homestead, you want to test your soil. USDA, your local USDA branch office or your state university's agricultural extension office will often provide tests or at least like a booklet that can cover various at-home tests that you can do on soil. So you want to test your soil first, understand what its current composition is. Often if you're really serious, you could send a soil sample into a lab so you understand exactly what nutrients are there and what are lacking. Then you want to know which plants you're looking to grow. Different plants have different nutrient needs. So you can compare your soil profile to what those plants need. And you'll then understand what is missing from your soil. And once you know that, then you can select the various amendments you'll need in order to make the soil ideal for the plants that you're looking to grow. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of some of the resources out there. Again, your local university agricultural extension office, or USDA has a bunch of local branch offices. NRCS, USDA, the NRCS branch offices of those, and they can usually provide information on soil tests that you can do in different amendment types. And then 67 Ford, you asked if we have a blog post on hydroponic farming. We do. Actually, if you just go to our website and search hydroponic, it should come up. You'll see we have a blog post on hydroponic farming. So if you're interested in that, you may want to read the blog post. And if there's anything, if you want me to get research in more detail, any other aspects of hydroponic farming, just send me an email and I'll look into that in some of my later blog posts. And oh, and I see K9 Lover responded to G. And I'm sorry, I read your question wrong, G. I'm very sorry. What state, in your opinion, would be best for homestead? So K9 Lover, thank you for responding to the actual question. Yeah, I think some of the southern states are good, although it does seem like there are a lot of people moving out there. But I've seen people homesteading in just about any state. Southeast is more difficult, of course, for the heat, but you'll find plenty of homesteaders in the Southwest. I mean, in the Southwest as well, despite the temperatures. And Hawaii, Alaska has a lot of homesteaders, but again, another extreme climate. All right, and okay, glad we don't have a sound issue. Now, another blog post I did was on land swaps. This is, so occasionally someone will, instead of buying land, they'll swap a parcel of land with another owner. This is somewhat rare. It doesn't happen that often, but it does. There are several instances in which land swaps are utilized. So between private owners, sometimes that happens. There's also the 1031 exchange, which is essentially a formalized land swap. It's a whole nother topic. We have a blog post specifically on that. There are a lot of rules and regulations around it, but basically with a 1031 exchange, you sell a current parcel of land and immediately buy another one. And if you both sell them, if you are within the required time frame, it's not considered a sale, but an exchange, and your capital gains are deferred. So a lot of investors use 1031 exchanges as a way to defer, not avoid, but defer capital gains. Land swaps, and I found this interesting too, land swaps also occur through the U.S. Forest Service on occasion. It's rare, but there are instances in which the Forest Service will exchange with a private landowner their parcel of land for that private owner's land. And this often occurs if the Forest Service happens to have a parcel of land that's sort of out of the way from the rest of the main forest. And there's a private owner who has a parcel that's a little more ideal for the Forest Service. So it's a way to try and improve both parties' use of the land or use of the land in general. But they only do, I think, one swap a year. So it's fairly rare, and then they have a whole set of criteria. So it's not something where you can just go out and try to swap your land, just submit a proposal and try to swap your land for Forest Service land. It's generally very specific circumstances where it makes a lot of sense for the Forest Service to exchange, again, sort of an isolated one-off parcel for one that's a little bit closer to their main forest section. But I thought it was interesting. Sometimes that occurs, and if you're inland long enough, that may be something that you run across. And the last blog post I did this week was one that I've been meaning to do for a while, because I have a lot of people who buy land from me ask, how do I get a mailing address? In particular, when they're buying a very rural parcel of land, it doesn't have, it may not even have a named road yet. It won't have a building for a while until they can get around to building on it. But in particular, say veterans or people who have specific benefits, and they really need a mailing address at all times. They want to know, how can I get a mailing address even if I'm out on this rural property kind of camping and it's not a formal home yet. So I put together a blog post on ways to get a mailing address, in particular ways to get a mailing address if you can't or don't want to use your residence as your mailing address. And as many of you probably already know, the P.O. Box is the historic way that people have done it, but today there's also virtual mailbox services, which are really great, often in stores like FedEx and USPS, and they'll do more than a P.O. Box will do. They'll do things like online forwarding, so they can send you scans of your mail. You don't have to check out to the store to pick up your physical mail. They'll let you know whenever you receive mail. They also provide an actual street address, so sometimes that can be beneficial as well. I've heard that certain agencies for specific benefits won't accept a P.O. box, so virtual mailbox can be useful for that as well. So just an article on that if you're ever in a situation and you need to think about creative ways of getting a mailing address. All right, so that should cover our blog posts for today. If anyone has any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. But if not, it looks like we're on to our vacation giveaway. Why you're all here, of course, I know. So I see a lot of familiar faces. I know you are all familiar with this spiel, but I'm still going to cover the basic terms of the vacation giveaway for anyone who's new. So what is awarded through the giveaway is a voucher that's valid for a 3, sometimes 4-night stay in a hotel that our travel partner classifies as a luxury grade hotel. There are over 50 locations, I believe somewhere around 30 in the US, and then there are also global locations. What will happen is, if you win, I'll send you an email with the full list of locations. You do have to select your location ahead of time. Once you've selected that, I'll send you the voucher. Every location has a number of participating hotels. There are a lot of them. You can't see the hotels before you select your location and redeem the voucher, but I can tell you that there are a lot of options for every location. Once I send you the voucher, you have 7 days to redeem it. This doesn't mean you have to book the vacation within 7 days. You just have 7 days to redeem the voucher. At that time, you pay the regular taxes associated with the hotel stay. And once you've done that, you then have 18 months to actually book your vacation. So select the hotel and decide when you want to go. So you have a while. you have some time to plan and decide when will work for you. The promotion is set up to be for a single person or a couple, but there will be a couple hotels in each location that accept up to 2 children. You also are only allowed to redeem, you're only able to redeem 1 voucher every 12 months, and you can only redeem 1 voucher per location per lifetime. However, if you keep coming back here and you win multiple times, you can either gift the voucher as a birthday present to a friend or family member, as long as they're not going with you on your voucher that you redeemed this year. Or I can give you a $100 hotel savings card. So if you've already won, you can still participate, don't worry. And I think that covers all the main terms. For anyone who's heard this all a million times, let me know if I forgot anything. And now what I'll do is, if everyone who wants to participate, just say yes in the chat. I'll assign you a number based on when you said yes. So the first person is 1, the second is 2, so on and so on. And then I'll have Google select a random number. The person whose number is selected will be this week's winner. So good luck, everyone. And I'll give you all about a minute to decide whether you want to participate. And hope you all had a great week. We're wrapping up August now, moving into the last few weeks of summer. I think school is starting for a lot of people, if you have kids. So hopefully the heat's hasn't quite broke here yet, but we're looking forward to that happening in a week or so. And I'll wait another 30 seconds. So doesn't look like there are too many participants today. That's the thing, you join every one of these live streams, you're going to win eventually. Sometimes we have a lot of participants, sometimes we don't. Now we're in the middle of summer, so I'm sure a lot of people are, yes, let this heat go. It's been a rough summer. I'll take summer over winter. I'll take a hot summer over a cold winter any day, though. All right, well, I think that was enough time to give everyone a chance. It looks like there are 5 participants, so you all have a really good shot today. And I'll go ahead and have Google select our winner, number 1. Acacia, you are today's winner. Congratulations. If you want to send me an email, I'll put my email address in here. I'll send you that list of locations and you can decide where you want to go, and then I'll send you the voucher. So congratulations. I know you've joined a number of times. I'm happy to see that you won. And for everyone else, thank you for joining me on a Sunday evening. I say this every time, but I know you have a lot of other things you can do at this time. So I do appreciate it, and I really enjoy seeing familiar faces. And to everyone who participates, I appreciate it as well. It's always great when we can have a conversation going or we have some good questions. But I do hope to see you next weekend. Have a wonderful week Have a wonderful week. Stay cool. And I'll be here same time, same place next Sunday.